Craig's cleaning up the 500. We've got PT in the house in the background there. He has just done, where's the van? Oh yeah, he's just done the MOT bits on the van, so we can drop that back down for it to re-ticket, and then we'll do a bit of tarting up on that. At the moment he's on the Peugeot 208. He's just changing a track rod end. So what we're doing with that, it came with a long, pretty much new MOT on it. So we're just looking at the advisories. He's just done the wheel bearing on the back, and he is just doing the drop link, which were the 2 MOT advisories, so we can clean that up and get it up for sale, and put an invoice in there for the parts we put on that were advisories. Cracking little car that. I've driven it, ended up driving that for about 3 days now. It's just a cracking little car. It's just going for a great MPG, great torque, handles well, and it's just a really nice car. I'm really impressed with that. It's not needed a lot at all. What else is going on? Not a lot. We've got lots to get done. We've still got this prepped, that prepped, that MOT'd. That's my loan car now. That's got to go down. What's this black? That's got to go down to Moors now. We're swapping out in a minute the ST Fiesta, which I haven't done any video on, but we're going to get her down to Moors and get some work done on that. That's got to go off and get the gearbox done now. That's got to get cleaned and put up for sale, which we'll just put up as like a part exchange sale on Marketplace out the door on that one. And then we've got to go and pick up the Audi A4 from Moors that are sold. It's had its MOT work done on it. We'll go and pick that up. We've got to go and pick up a VW up from Malcolm's, who's painted it for me, and he's now got a Polo there for me as well. He's painting as well, so hopefully he's moved on to that. We'll bring the VW up back here, and hopefully we'll have the Polo a few days later on. Lots of small cars as per normal. Lots going on. Obviously I need to do a photo shoot and advertise the Igo that the lady pulled out on. I'm leaving everything black. I quite like it all in black. I think I prefer it to the red personally. I know there'll be mixed opinions on that, but I quite like it done out like that. He's also just changed out this A4. I was just waiting on a replacement light for it because the old one was cracked. So yeah, the old one had a crack in it and a water ingress in it, so I got a second-hand one of those. So now we'll finish off cleaning the hood, give it a machine polish. This is MOT'd, ready to go, and we'll advertise this. Might be going into the new year before it sells, though, based on the way the weather is at the moment, possibly. But then again, I find these tend to sell anyway, regardless. So Joe's got the A4 Audi on that I bought the other day. And it'll look see underneath while I've got the chance. It's actually really tidy underneath. Joe stuck me a new arm on it down there. Lovely job. He's doing an oil change now. Thank you, Joe. I've just told him I need it back like yesterday, so he's going to crack on for me. I'm dropping down the Ford Fiesta. Let the boys have a look over that. So what we got on, we got the van back from MOT. I've already got 2 people interested in the van, so we'll see what happens with that. I mentioned it to a couple of people. I haven't advertised it yet, so we've already got 2 people interested in that. We've got a viewing on the Fiesta already for Saturday. We're supposed to have a viewing today on the Jeep Wrangler. Don't hold out too much hope with that. It might surprise me. PT is doing a pressure test on the Astra I bought with the bad gearbox because it had a coolant warning on it, and we have lost a bit of coolant on it, but it wasn't overheating and there didn't seem to be anything coming out the back really. So Pete's pressure testing it.
See it down there, that?
Where's that?
Right down the gap.
Oh yeah, at the side of the head there.
Yeah, that's that thermostat housing, isn't it?
Thermostat housing, yeah. There we go, so we think we might have found what that is. So what Pete's done is he's put his kit on there, where you put it into the expansion bottle there and you pump it up to, how many PSI have you got in there, Pete?
15 he's on, but he seems just losing a bit now. That's it, that.
Yeah, he was holding for a really good time and then he's just started to lose a little bit. So this is how you test where the fluid might be getting, whether it's getting into the head. But yeah, we think we might have a bad gasket on the side there. And yeah, you can see it dripping down the side there, can't you?
Yeah, it's been running for a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's okay.
So that's all right. So we just need to replace a gasket on that, and then so it is worth putting a box in that because we can get that sorted out quite easily. Not something over. I'm re-cleaning the Igo because we've got someone who wants to come and see that on Saturday. I need to give it clean from the test drive we did the other day. We need to give the little B series, I keep calling it an A, don't I? Cleaned up and in. The Peugeot now needs to be cleaned up and brought in now that we've done the Pete's done the MOT advisor on that. Picked this up yesterday. Little VW Up 13 plate. I think it's got What's it got? 60,000 miles on it. 5-door, which is good. It's the 1 litre. I've driven it home back. It drives nice. The only thing we've got is a clutch release bearing noise on it, which we need to get in there and get that done. And we need a dent up here doing. Now I don't want to paint it because it looks like it could go out by dent man. Just across here. So I'm going to contact my friend and see when he's got the dent man going around his. Hopefully we can drop it down and have that done. But that should be a nice little car, really clean inside. I say, other than the release bearing noise, it drives really nicely. So hopefully that is it. Hopefully I've diagnosed that right. We'll get Pete to have a listen to that as well, just make sure it isn't box. But I've got a feeling it's clutch release bearing because it goes away when you put your foot down on the clutch, which would have you pushing the bearing up against the fingers of the plate, and it stops when you take your foot off. So that's normally clutch release bearing. Fingers crossed. This needs a good old clean up now. Oh Pete, you haven't been in since I released the video. To let you know, there is a small group of people out there that begrudge you your biscuits and tea by doing a Surfshark advert. I know. The fact that we haven't done any adverts in about 30 videos, it's the first one, when people with much larger channels than us do one in every single video, they begrudge us a few extra quid. A few do, a very small minority do, Pete. So I'm afraid your influencer days are over and done with, mate. No more tea and biscuits for you from Surfshark.
Done, mate.
Done, it's all done. So I've gone and picked the Audi up from MOT, given myself a nice dose of pneumonia, cleaning it outside in the pouring rain because she wants to pick up first thing in the morning. We've cleared out the unit there. Little Peugeot that Pete's cleaned up is tucked up in there, ready for me to do a little bit of paint on it. And then we will squeeze the Audi in behind, and he's going to do the interior on it while I get all the paperwork ready so it can go straight out the door in the morning. It's a really clean car. I know I said before, but now having given it a clean, it is a really clean car. Didn't need a lot for the MOT. I have left an advisory on this one, which is slight play in the steering rack. Well, it's 14 years old and it's on 114,000 miles. So I think we'll live with slight play in the steering rack, won't we? But other than that, it's advised. It's got no other advisories on it. We did some suspension arm work, did an oil and filter change on it as well because it was shown on the dash it needed a service. So it's 3495. I think it's a reasonable price for a really nice car, and hopefully they'll be good on it. The guy came to see the Jeep. First thing he said when he pulled up on the Jeep, is the price negotiable? I wasn't in the mood to play. I said, why, do you not think it's worth what I've asked for it? He said, oh no, I think it probably is. I said, there we go then. He said, but it's not got the lift kit on it, the suspension lift kit on it. I said, right, it's not supposed to, that's an aftermarket thing, isn't it? Yeah, but that's what I want. Okay, but that doesn't mean that my car's overpriced. It just means that you want to spend a lot of money modifying it. He said, well, I've seen them at this price with that all on. I said, I don't think you have, to be perfectly frank. I said, I've been funny, I checked the market carefully before I put this up at 5,995. And to get one with full lift kits and all that, I thought you were looking at more like 9 to 10 grand for one. He said, well, I'm still seriously thinking about it. I said, no problem at all. He said, I'd like to take it for a test drive. I said, well, before you take it for a test drive, I said, I want to be clear that I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste my time. I already had an offer £500 less than asking price, and I've turned that down. So whatever you were thinking negotiating wise, I said, just be aware of that. There's no point test driving it otherwise. He said, yeah, no problem. We went for a test drive, came back. He said, it's a really together car, isn't it? I said, yeah, it's a really together car. It seems to drive really quite well for its age. What kind of warranty would you give it? I said, well, I'll give you 3 months on the engine and gearbox. He said, well, there's nothing much else on the car. I said, well, there isn't, is it? It's wind-up windows, it's stereo, those other bits and bobs. I said, it's going to have a new MOT before it comes out. So realistically, it's a classic car. I said, I'm going to cover you against the engine going bang and the gearbox going bang. I said, but other than that, it is a classic car. Okay, he says, I'll have to think about it because it's the wrong colour and it's got the wrong colour interior. Okay. What do you say? So you've come out to see a car that you already knew was black with a black interior. You've come knowing it doesn't have a lift kit on it. You want to negotiate the price right down before you even test drive it, even though it's the wrong colour on the outside, wrong colour on the inside, and it hasn't got a lift kit. I don't know. What do you say to someone like that? He said, I'll have to decide if it's something I'm willing to compromise on, which that bit I guess I do kind of understand. But you can't knock me down because you come out to see a car that's the wrong colour, got the wrong colour interior, and doesn't have the lift kit you want on it. Those are kind of like, those are most definitely to coin the phrase, you problems. So we'll have to give it another clean off again, and that's the trouble with the winter when people test drive cars. Some of my friends were saying the other day that they don't let people test drive cars unless the person's already said that subject to the test drive being okay, they're willing to buy the car to save them the hassle of revaleting cars. Some of them are also saying they have deposits now to come and view the car, and if you don't turn up for the viewing, then you don't get your deposit back, which I kind of quite like the idea of, but I don't have the kind of admin support they do to muck around with that kind of a thing. It is to a certain extent the cost of doing business, isn't it? But you can see, as I've said before, why dealers get quite tough on the outside, because that is a bit of a mammoth waste of your time, isn't it, really? Anyhow, we'll focus back on the cars that have sold and that people want. Well, let's hopefully they come and pick this car up tomorrow. Anyway, we'll get this moved inside for Petey, and he can hoover it nice warm with a nice fresh cup of tea while I dry out from him watching me clean it in the rain.